Start strong, stay focused, her father's voice echoed in her mind. It was the first day of autumn, and the crisp morning air carried the scent of fallen leaves. Jacqueline tightened the laces on her running shoes, her heart thudding with a mix of anticipation and determination. Today marked the beginning of a journey she had been postponing for years, training for her first marathon. The idea of running 26.2 miles seemed unsurmountable, but she was determined to prove to herself that she could do it. Start strong, stay focused, her father's voice echoed in her mind. A mantra he had often repeated during his childhood. Her father, a retired army officer, had always been her rock, teaching her that discipline and resilience were the keys to overcoming any challenge. Jacqueline took a deep breath and stepped out onto the trail. The first mile felt exhilarating. She could feel the strength in her legs, the rhythm of her breathing syncing with the pounding of her feet. The world around her blurred as she focused on the path ahead, her mind clear and determined. But by the 5th mile, the exhilaration began to wane. Her muscles ached, her breath came in short bursts, and the voice in her head began to whisper doubts. Why are you doing this? You're not a runner. This is too hard. Jacqueline slowed her pace and glanced at the trail ahead. It stretched endlessly, disappearing into a dense canopy of trees. The enormity of her goal loomed over her like a shadow. She stopped, hands on her knees, gasping for air. As she stood there, a memory surfaced, her father, standing at the finish line of her first 5K race years ago, clapping and shouting, "You've got this, Jacqueline. Stay focused." She remembered the pride in her eyes when she crossed that line. Even though she had finished near the back of the pack, those words reignited a spark within her. She straightened up, wiped the sweat from her brow, and began running again. She reminded herself that the key to achieving something monumental wasn't about being perfect. It was about staying focused, step by step, no matter how hard it got. Over the next few months, Jacqueline applied this principle not just to her training but to every aspect of her life. When work projects became overwhelming, she broke them down into smaller, manageable tasks. When personal relationships grew strained, she tackled issues head-on, refusing to let distractions pull her away from what truly mattered. By the time race day arrived, Jacqueline felt like a different person. Standing at the starting line, surrounded by thousands of other runners, she felt a surge of confidence. She had prepared, physically and mentally, for this moment. The marathon itself was grueling. There were moments when her legs felt like lead, when the heat of the day bore down on her, and when the finish line seemed impossibly far away. But through it all, Jacqueline clung to her mantra, start strong, stay focused. When she crossed the finish line, tears streamed down her face. It wasn't just about completing the marathon. It was about proving to herself that she could tackle any challenge as long as she stayed focused and never gave up. From that day forward, Jacqueline carried the lesson of the marathon with her. Whether she was facing personal struggles, professional challenges, or new adventures, she reminded herself of the power of starting strong and staying focused. It became more than a mantra, it became her way of life. And as she passed on that lesson to others, she realized that success wasn't about reaching the finish line the fastest. It was about the journey, the discipline, and the unwavering determination to keep moving forward, no matter how tough the road ahead.